Hi, Dr. Nasim. We are from Group 6. For the current issue in the economic assignments, we will discuss on the Malaysia exchange rate that fluctuate based on the world oil price changes. Before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Yong Chiming Kelvin and my matrix number is GS57037.
Hello everyone, my name is Dong Xueyi and my matric number is GS57415.
Hi Dr. Nasim, my name is Metis Mafilai and my matrix number is GS57047.
Let's have some idea on what is the implication of the oil price changes to the Malaysia economy. Oil is part of the second largest export group for Malaysia and contributed 26.5 billion ringgit of the overall market. This translates to if any changes of oil prices will have significant impact to our economy. So let's have some retrospective back in 2014 incident when supply more than demand for oil. Then this leads to oil price fall to 45 USD per barrel in early 2015. This led to decline in revenue for the country and lead to the currency exchange devaluation. On this slide, I will discuss on the exchange rate regime that have been implemented in Malaysia. So we start with some definition. Exchange rate regime can be defined as the government policy on exchange rate. It closely related to the monetary policy as both are considered as the fundamental instrument to attain the financial and economic objectives set by the particular country. And Malaysia monetary policy objective will be the foreign exchange stability and low inflation. Okay, Malaysia have been implemented three different exchange rate system. First, I'm start with 1973. We implementing the floating rate exchange system back then, whereby the value of the currency is purely determined by the supply and demand of the money markets. And under this system, there will be no government intervention and is so known as the clean float because of no government intervention. So during the Asia financial crisis in 1998, Malaysia pegged the exchange rate system, whereby the home currency value is pegged to a strong foreign currency, and there will be a parallel movement between home currency value with the foreign currency value. During that time, we pegged with the USD is 3.8 per USD. And this followed by 2005, Malaysia implemented managed float exchange system rate, whereby this allow the exchange rate to move freely based on the market force, which is determined by the demand and supply of the money market, but with certain of government intervention. This system also known as the dirty floating because of some government interventions. Now we will discuss on the theory of the exchange rate and the crude oil price relationship. Okay, back in 2016, Jokov and Yun conducted a study and the results show that there is a relationship between exchange rate and oil price in advanced market and emerging markets. Besides that, Buff and Ruff in 2015 study also claimed that oil price and exchange rate fluctuation are significant in emerging countries such as China and India. So beside that, Bodenstein and others in 2010 also indicate that there is two general theories regarding the impact of oil price fluctuation towards the exchange rate in economy. The first theory is the term of trade, whereby in oil exporter perspective, a negative oil price shock will decrease the price of non-traded goods in the country. Hence, this incident will cause exchange rate of the oil exporter country to depreciate in certain period of time. And the second theory is the wealth effect, whereby oil exporter will suffer loss due to decline in the crude oil price. This oil importer will gain more wealth by importing cheaper fuel in the market. Killian in 2009 also indicated that this will affect the trade balance and lead to changes in the exchange rate. Therefore, we can conclude that The theory there's a connection among crude oil price and foreign exchange rate are positively related for all exporter countries, whereby this indicates that there's a oil exporter currency will tend to appreciate due to higher crude oil price in the market, while crude oil value and foreign exchange ratio are indeed connected in some extent, either being positively or negatively related to each other. This slide shows some literature review on the empirical analysis. So basically the findings that there is a significant impact of the currency exchange on the oil price. And then the following up presentation will continue from my friends regarding on the Malaysia case. Thank you.
And as we all know, the Malaysia also have the oil product, and the name is Tapis crude, and which is very light, and the gravity of 43 degree to 45 degree, and it is very sweet and with only about percent 0.04% sulfur, and because of its lightness, it allows a greater production of higher value products such as petrol than from Brent or WTI, and it is high price also due to the purity of the blend. Malaysia's energy security strategy export it is premium Tapis crude oil and import low-grade oil to refine its downstream facilities. And as of 2018, the production is approximately 300,000 barrels per day. This figure, the time period is from 1988 to 1998, and during that time is the Malaysia's economic expansion time, and that time the government used the floating exchange rate system, and in the figure it is evidence that ringgit against US dollar is stable over the observed period and relatively less volatile compared to WTI, and this is also the golden period when Malaysia was enjoying robust economic growth with a staggering stock market performance. July 1997 was the turning point for the Southeast Asia economies, and Thailand was the first country that took the direct hit from the currency speculation. And figure 2 is two lines, and the time period is from 2005 to 2018 year, and during that time the Malaysia government used the mandate float exchange rate system, and the figure 2 demonstrate the co-movements of ringgit against US dollar and WTI since the removal of ringgit peg to US dollar in July 2005 year. It is so obvious that two trend lines are moving in the opposite direction and both seem relatively violent. The turbulence period started in September 2009 and 8, triggered by U.S. subprime mortgage crisis, and this detrimentally affects the worldwide financial markets, And given technological breakthrough in U.S. Shale oil production since 2008, there has been excess supply of crude oil in the world market, and this supply glut results in plummeting crude oil prices and income of oil production countries like Malaysia.
For the period of 2005 to 2018, the Malaysia's economy is in recovery mode and the country reverted to managed float exchange rate system, as shown in Figure 3 on the left-hand side. In early 2016, the crude oil price was traded lower at 133 ringgit per barrel as compared to 354 ringgit per barrel in early 2014. During this period, the Bank Negara reported that there was an outflow of net foreign portfolio investment in 2013 with deficit of 10 billion ringgit, down further to 15 billion ringgit in 2014 and improved slightly in 2015 with deficit of 0.3 billion ringgit and negative 0.4 billion ringgit in 2016. Besides that, in early 2014, the ringgit was quoted at 3 ringgit 30 cents per dollar. However, in 2016, the ringgit appeared to be the second worst performing currency in Asia and ended the year at 4.4875 against the greenback. Next is the theoretical point of view between exchange rates and crude oil price. Malaysia is one of the oil producing countries. The tax collected from the oil and gas industry has been a worthy source of revenue, which in turn increased demand for the domestic currencies. Nevertheless, the descent of oil price and normalization of the US dollar has affected the oil revenue and adversely led to a significant appreciation of dollar against ringgit in mid-2014 to the end of 2017. Besides that, crude oil price have the ability to affect the exchange rate, likely due to oil is traded in terms of US dollar. As such, changes in the crude oil price are likely to influence the currency exchange of the ringgit Malaysia against US dollar. In a nutshell, there is negative relationship between the world oil price and Malaysia exchange rate. The ringgit was found to be less prone to changes in crude oil price during the period of Asian financial crisis in 1997, while at present ringgit is seen to be more vulnerable to changes in crude oil price in the short run, since the removal of currency peg in June 2005. It is a known fact that there is no single monetary policy that any central bank could adopt to stabilize currency fluctuations. As such, fluctuations of oil crude price in long run will adversely affect Malaysian exchange rate as well as the nation competitiveness. Realizing this fact, the country needs to shift away from heavily reliance on the revenue of crude oil by further economic diversification. Thank you. That is all from our group presentation, and these are our references.